Batter Up with Bubba Carpenter. And Bubba, where are you? Somewhere in Alabama?
I wish. I didn't make it to Alabama. I'm in Forest City.
In Forest City, Arkansas.
Yeah, we had a little mechanical issue in my new truck. I'm driving down the interstate about 85, and all of a sudden my truck just cut down to about 45 and wouldn't go. So, yeah, we spent the night here. So, I tell you what, people are awesome, though. My tow truck driver was awesome. Took us to a hotel, helped us unload the truck. I mean, the guy was awesome. So, they're working on it right now. They think they're good. They figured out what's wrong with it. Now, hopefully we'll be back on the road in a couple hours. It's been an adventure, though. It's kind of like planes, trains, and automobiles.
Yeah, certainly sounds like it. And by the way, those are not pillows. But I was only if I need to. I mean, I can turn around. When the show's over, it'll take about 3 hours, 4 hours to get there. But if that's what it takes to get you and the family here, you can all fit inside. Well, I don't have a family truckster like you, so I don't know. You'll have to sit on somebody's lap. Is that okay?
Yeah, and you know what? I do want to tell the listeners out there that you did offer late last night to come and pick us up, which I thought was really awesome. So I appreciate that.
Well, I think we'll get there.
You're just being nice. You just threw it out there.
I only asked because I knew you were going to rent a car.
Hey, we'll be there by game time. I promise you. If I have to jog down the road or hitchhike, we'll make it.
Well, of course you will. They're playing Ole Miss. Like you won't. I hated that you had to miss us playing Oxford this year. So I don't know. The next step, I guess, 2 years from now is the next time we go to Oxford. You have to be there because there's nothing quite like Bubba Carpenter's hatred for the Ole Miss Rebels.
Yeah, I'll be there. 2 years, I'll be there. So I don't want to miss that. But yeah, this is going to be a fun one, Phil. Looking forward to it. You know, kind of surprised they beat Florida, but Hunter Elliott threw a really good game. Florida made a couple of mistakes, a couple of errors that cost them. But yeah, I mean, realistically, I would rather play Ole Miss than Florida because Florida's been really hot.
Do you think it's important to stay here for a couple days to play winning baseball? I mean, personally, I don't want to come here for just one game. I don't think the guys want to come here for one game. I think they're coming here to play winning baseball and take that mentality and attitude, just like they had last weekend, into the regionals.
Yeah, and don't you think there's a different mindset, Phil? I just feel totally different. Talking to the players and just getting a feel, I feel like we're going to Hoover to win it this year, where in the past I felt like we were just coming down here to get our work in. You know, like Hagan throwing 36 pitches last year. You know, we want him to throw a few pitches. We don't want him to get hurt. We want him to rest up, be ready for a regional. I feel like we came down here last year, you know, well, let's win a game or two and then come home and get rested up. I just feel like it was a different mindset this year. I feel like we're down there on a mission, and I think these guys want to win this thing.
I sense, too, and Dave has talked about this. I think he's talked about it publicly. Both last year and the year before, they go into this tournament 20-10 in the SEC. But, Bubba, look at the postseason awards that Arkansas won. Look at Player of the Year with Vahiva. Look at 5 players on first or second team. Heck, 4 of them were on the first team. I mean, I haven't been around an Arkansas team that has been viewed like that in the SEC. I don't know if there ever has been. This is potentially one of the most talented teams that Arkansas has ever had, just looking at the postseason awards. And I think they're just overall, and we've seen it play out too, it's a more talented team than last year. I think they also feel that. I'm not sure if last year's team went into the postseason thinking that they were all that good. I think this team knows they're good.
Yeah, I think so. And you and I have said that. I said it in the fall. I said, I am 100% in on this team. This team, there's something about it. The vibe around the guys. You know, they've got a great mix of players with talent, but also a little bit of personality. And they're fun to be around. They like each other. They love playing the game of baseball. On off days, they're fishing together or golfing. They're all together. And they seem to really like each other, and they play like that on the field. And the talent's definitely there. And I agree, Phil. I think it's just a different vibe right now, and I feel really good about it.
So I guess the Achilles heel for Arkansas right now is starting pitching. Now there's a drive to deep left field. There's a home run. I'm calling home runs when they happen with A&M and Auburn. Caden Kent hit one in the third. Eric Snow just hit one for Auburn. It's 3-1 Aggies in the fifth inning. I just like doing fake Harry Carey calls.
You got to get out of here?
No. I just wanted. There's a drive, just like that. Anyway, is it important to see that Zach Root goes out and has a good game? I mean, I think it's no matter what. I mean, win a game. But I do want to go into the postseason with Zach Root coming off a good start, with Gage Wood coming off a good start, and whomever it was that would throw Sunday if you play, pitching well in however long he goes.
Yeah, I think so. And look, Zach wasn't terrible against Tennessee. Tennessee's just a really good lineup. He couldn't locate his fastball. He kind of lost the feel for his breaking ball, so he had to rely a lot on his changeup. But every time he's had a start like that, he's come back the next week and been really good. So I expect Zach to be really good. And, he had a rough outing against Ole Miss, back in March. But, I mean, that was March 14th. 10 hits, 7 runs. He didn't have a good outing. So I expect him to really, really bear down and have a good outing tomorrow. And, you look at the guys that we could bring in after Zach. Aiden did really good. Aiden Jimenez had a 3 innings shutout against Ole Miss on that Friday night. So there's weapons we can go to, and I think Dave's going to go all in, especially to win this first game.
Yeah, I do too. Hey, earlier in the show, we had brought up the idea of managers or coaches that take over in the first year, and the previous head coach or manager will get some credit for that first year's success. And I was thinking about Joe Torre and the '96 Yankees, and I mean, you were with all those guys at spring training and played with a lot of them at AAA, and I think played for both Showalter and Torre at spring training. But then I look on the teams too, and it was just also different teams from 95 to 96. I mean, in 96, this guy named Derek Jeter showed up and started playing shortstop. Tony Fernandez was good, but Derek Jeter was Derek Jeter, Tino Martinez instead of Don Mattingly. But I also wondered, did you feel that difference make a difference from 95 to 96 with the Yankees?
Absolutely, Phil. What was crazy? When Joe Torre came in, I'd been in AAA the year before. He brought me a bunch of the guys down, and that was my first big league camp. Joe Torre wanted to see everybody and kind of evaluate everybody on his own. He didn't want to go off of past reports. He wanted to go off of his own eyes. And, Don Zimmer obviously was there. It was just a great coaching staff. But they brought me down. I came down like 2 weeks early and started working out before spring training. So it was a completely different environment, and it really did show. Like all the guys, as soon as they came in, I mean, obviously it was a bunch of great players, and I was just glad to be around them. But it was a different, like, they had that vibe from the start. Like, we're going to win this whole thing. We're going to win it. And it was fun to see. And honestly, to bring it back to Arkansas, I feel the same way about this team. Dave and his staff brought in a bunch of really good players. They bonded early. They definitely showed a bunch of talent in the fall. I mean, we knew in the fall, looking at exit velos and just at bats and looking at some of the pitchers, some of the weapons they had on the mound, that this was going to be a special group of players, and they've proved it so far this year.
Well, there's even evidence. I mean, look at the team that I'm watching here in A&M. I mean, they lose their head coach. They bring in his top assistant in Michael Early, and it obviously didn't quite work out. And they did that in order to keep the team together, And then look at the guy who left in Schlossnagel, and I don't know anybody that's crediting David Pierce for the SEC championship that Texas has won this year, because in college sports now, you can remake your team in that first year. And I know there's a lot of returners for Texas, but they also brought in plenty of new guys. For me, there no longer is residue in college sports. For when you take over a program, it is your program immediately.
Oh, absolutely. And like you said, you can totally rehaul a team with the transfer portal, NIL, in 1 year. And I don't know if Schlossnagle, how much credit he deserves. I mean, you got to give him credit. The guy's won everywhere he's been. I kind of have a bad taste in my mouth the way he left and went to Texas. And you and I have already talked about that, and I don't like that. But I guess that's just the nature of the game. But I just feel I feel a little bit dirty every time I think about that whole story and the way he handled that. But I am looking forward to the game tonight, though, the Tennessee Texas game, and talk about who do you pull for?
No kidding.
I mean, you've got that color on both sides of the field, but I think Liam Doyle is going to dominate tonight. I don't think that Texas lineup's going to touch him, especially coming off the start at Arkansas where we lit him up. I expect him to really dominate that Texas lineup today.
Should be awesome. It's two teams that don't have any idea where the real on-deck circle is located. We know this.
Hey, absolutely. Isn't that crazy? We'll see if they enforce it at the SEC tournament. They're pretty strict on their rules down there.
Bubba, I hope everything goes well with the rest of your travels. Eventually, John Candy had to stay at Steve Martin's house for Thanksgiving. I don't need you to be, don't go. Make it to Hoover is what I'm saying. Don't spend Thanksgiving with Steve Martin, okay?
All right, I appreciate it, Phil. But we'll be there, buddy. I'll be in the booth with you before game time, and looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun, and appreciate you having me on. And go Hogs.
BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for all your sports betting action. Baseball season is in full swing and we're into the NBA and NHL playoffs, and BetOnline has more ways to stay in on the action with the latest odds, news, and scores, even live in-game betting while the games are being played. With the largest selection of odds on everything from the MLB, NBA, NHL, and UFC, BetOnline remains the best online source for all your sports wagering information. In between games, head over to the BetOnline casino with all the top Vegas-style games, including poker and live casino. Bet online, the game starts here.